Welcome back to another Blue Bison tutorial. As we end another incredible year, it's time to dive into a topic that holds immense importance for businesses and employees alike: closing the payroll year. But before we unravel the intricacies of the process, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our insightful content. Now, let's embark on this journey together and ensure your payroll year-end is a seamless experience. In today's video, we'll be your guides through the essential steps to close out the payroll year smoothly within Blue Bison payroll system. During this process, you will be able to specify new dates for the new pay year, reset pension categories, and remove unused income or deduction categories. We urge that you proceed with caution when closing your payroll year, as this is a one-way process and cannot be undone. It is only to be carried out once the last payroll for the pay year has been successfully finalized and there are no pending changes. Let's begin. Once you've signed into your system, navigate to Payroll, then close Payroll Years. You will notice the current payroll year description, as well as its closure settings. The first option is used to reset pension contributions that were manually assigned a rate and limit in an individual employee's profile. For example, the maximum pensionable earnings in Cayman Islands is $87,000, which means the maximum annual employee contribution should be $4,350. If John earns $30,000 per month at ABC Company, then his mandatory pension contribution limit of $4,350 will be reached within 3 months. Instead, ABC Company decides to spread John's annual pension contribution amount over a 12-month period so that he pays $362.50 per month rather than $1,500. Once his final payment is made for the year, his employer will enable this feature to revert John's pension contribution rate and limit to its original amount to be spread again over the next pay year. The next option allows you to remove unused income, deduction, or employer contribution categories which had a non-zero limit, but the remaining balance is zero. For example, Sophie requested a loan of $1,200 in January. Her monthly payment was $100. At the end of the pay year, her balance will be zero. We would not want to keep this payroll category on Sophie's profile and payslip since the loan will be paid in full. If we enable this option, the system will automatically remove this category from her payroll profile. The last checkbox speaks to resetting income, deduction, and employer contribution categories if the limit is defined as non-zero, except the special categories which are pension and salary. These would be pay or wage categories which have a limit and need to be reset end of each pay year so the entire balance is again available for the new year. The balance on these can be non-zero. For example, if an employee is allowed to purchase up to $10,000 in company stocks annually, but only bought $6,000 worth, he will still be allowed to purchase up to $10,000 the following year, therefore the limit must be reset. Extreme caution must be applied when deciding whether this option should be enabled, since it is a global setting which would apply to advances and loans as well. Once you have decided on these options, you can select the new pay year from the drop-down below. If it has not been configured yet, then click Create a New Pay Year and enter the required information. Again, please review your selections prior to closing your pay year, as this process cannot be undone. Once the old pay year has been closed successfully, go ahead and generate pay periods for the new year by going to Settings, Payroll, then Pay Periods. Click the Bulk Generate feature to mass-produce pay periods for the entire year in one go. In the Start Date field, just enter the first pay period's start date for the year. The next field is for the last pay period's end date at the end of the year. In the Check Date field, put the number of days before or after the pay period ends when the employee gets paid. For instance, if a monthly employee is paid on the 25th of each month, the check date would be about 6 days before the end date, so you'd enter -6. If a weekly employee is paid 5 days after the pay period ends, enter 5. Put 0 in the pay period ending date, then add a pay period prefix. For example, for bi-weekly pay periods, just type bi-weekly. Choose the pay frequency from the drop-down, and decide if you want to add sequential numbers to your prefix like monthly 1, 2, 3, etc. Determine if you need to hide the employee's payslip or set a date to display the report in their self-service portal, then click Generate. Pay periods for the entire year should be available, and you can always modify them individually if necessary. For additional details on this subject, feel free to explore our knowledge base or reach out to our support team for assistance. Thank you for using Blue Bison.